Hello everyone, my name is CinnamonToastKen, and welcome back to Danganronpa V3. Last episode, we had some murders. 2 murders happened. So one was Angie. She was stabbed in the back of the neck. And then we was going to go talk to her spirit because, I forget the guy's name, the guy in the hat over there, wanted to do a seance. So we said, okay, fine. And all the lights went out. And then Tenko, Meow Girl is dead. So there's been two murders. I just noticed how small Kaido's feet are. Look at those little bitty feet. Perhaps because there were fewer of us, the elevator seems to move faster. And so we fell, faster and faster, downward into black. Ooh. The elevator stopped, just like always. The doors parted slowly. The light that shines on us from the other side is a bright light of our future. Or is it? Dun dun dun. Monokuma's back too, by the way. Boy, they look really depressed. Must be because there's even less participants now. Don't say that they look depressed. You'll make Monodam sad. Monodam is sad. I wonder if he's gonna jump it. He may kill himself this time, because he's been killing people that been bothering him. So he may try to kill Monokuma, and Monokuma may deal with him. As much as I'd love to keep hearing this adorable back and forth, let's hurry up and get this started. At last, the class trial will begin. I hope you enjoy it to your heart's content. We will enjoy it so much. The 3rd class trial is about to begin. Oh my god. Angie Yagna, the ultimate artist. She created the Ultimate Academy Student Council to try to prevent the killing game. Then Tenko Chabashira, the Ultimate Aikido Master. She hated men, but I knew that she hated this terrible killing game even more. The 2 who were killed were both trying to stop the killing. And who was the one who killed them? Was it one person? Or 2 different people? We need to pin that down in this class trial. In order to live, we have to find the truth. You goddamn right we do. And I'll fight for it. I'll fight for it with truth and lies in this class trial. All right, here we go. Let's begin this class trial. In session, blur. Yeah. No, we already know how to do this.
Now, smiles, everyone. It's showtime. Let's get this crazy awesome trial underway!
Sorry, everyone. I don't think I'm gonna be much help this time. Because of Monokuma's disruptions, I couldn't do a thorough investigation.
I can tell Monokuma is overcompensating to hide his self-consciousness.
Next time, spend less time fixing your hair and more time investigating, spaceman!
Shut up! I don't need to hear some comedy act from you 2 weirdos.
He's got some nice hair though. Look at that thing. It's stuck way up there. ...
Who did it?
Who did it?
Who killed Angie and Tenko?
Yeah, the people you like the most, huh? I wonder who did.
Do not let your emotions hasten your judgment. There may be 2 killers.
So, our other culprit might not be one of us here.
Hmm? What do you mean?
The transfer student. Maybe our resurrected transfer student dragged Angie and Tenko into the grave.
Nobody's been resurrected, as far as I know, because we didn't do it right.
Stop it! Stop making stuff up!
Say something, Shuichi. It'll be a mess if this keeps going on.
The other ones have X's marked out to their faces, but Angie has like a halo and little wings. Is it even possible for the revival corpse to be the culprit? Well, in the interest of being there, they should clean up. Let's clear this up because that didn't happen. Before energy ever gets us down, Necronomicon. That's what we
crime
need.
was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates.
Whoops.
No!
No! I pushed the wrong button.
So, ritual did work?
Hang on. Let me see what else you had to say.
Resurrected, I wonder.
That's probably it.
Did say she was gonna bring Rantaro back.
Yeah, that's not it either.
Rantaro was resurrected. The culprit is the late Rantaro Amami.
Stop it!
All right. No.
So,
No, that can't be it. Oh, it got in the way. Hang on. No. There we go. I missed my V counter though. I missed my V counter because the red words got in the way.
I don't think Angie's ritual succeeded. According to the Necronomicon Monokuma showed us, you have to burn the Necronomicon in the ritual.
You gotta repeat their name 3 times and all that
If
stuff.
Angie's ritual had succeeded, the book would have been gone.
So she must have been killed before the ritual was complete, since the book was still intact.
Then, going to think Rantaro probably not culprit.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Well, duh. There's no way a dead person could resurrect.
Now hold on a second. I can't let that comment stand. Sure, everybody knows that you can't bring the dead back to life, but it's easy at the Ultimate Academy, as long as you use the Necronomicon.
What are you talking about? There's no way that's possible.
But it's true. I never lie about motives.
I wonder why it's true though. I wonder if we're in a simulation. Maybe we're already dead. I don't know. I haven't figured out why they can bring people back yet. It's always a mystery of the game to figure out what the outside world has going on. It's never been good. Like in all the Danganronpa games, the outside world is always like in chaos and it's like kind of the end of the world scenario. So I'm sure the outside world is bad. I just don't know if there really is an outside world where we are, or if we're doing an AI simulation thing. Like the keeping the bodies around isn't a stretch, because that's happened before. Keeping bodies looking pristine for long periods of time. That's happened. Not too sure. That's kind of like my big question right now, is how the resurrection like actually works. Like other than Kibo's like night vision crap, I don't really have any leads on who it could be. I don't think. He has flashlight eyes. Sorry, Kibo does.
Man, I can't believe you guys.
And he had to go under the
wasted
floorboards.
such a perfectly good motive. You should have let me use it to bring Monodum back to life.
Monodum is still alive, though.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't waste a resurrection on Monodum's corpse.
Uh-oh. Red's going down next.
So resurrecting the dead was actually possible this whole time?
There's no way it's possible.
Yeah, he's freaking out about it so much.
There's no way that could happen, idiots.
Look, she's an
Monokuma
angel.
is trying to confuse us.
Angie's an angel. Screw Angie, I hate her so much.
Let's hurry up and find out who the Blackened is.
If our transfer student isn't the culprit, then blame falls to one of us.
Yep.
Who did it?
Step aside, Half Pint. I'll handle this.
I don't think I'm gonna like it either way.
I don't know about Tenko, but I'm pretty fucking sure Kyo murdered Angie.
What? Why?
Don't play dumb with me, creep show. I already know what happened. The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab.
That's true.
Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
Well, this whole thing looks like it's trying to make him suspicious.
Katana, you see?
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in, murdered the fuck out of Angie.
Break in either.
Yeah, I'm a fucking genius.
Jeez. What was Smoothie's account? I don't remember what it was. All right, Smoothie's account. Angie's been locking herself in the Ultimate Artist Lab since yesterday, working the ritual and unlocked the door for someone other than this. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Went to the classroom, broke in.
There we go. Okay, it's Smoothie's account. Well,
No, Kyo would not have been able to enter Angie's lab.
well, she said he broke in. That's what. Like,
Isn't that right, Tsumugi?
yeah, but that doesn't. See, this is like these is what bugs me is like he broke in, but he could have asked someone. Well, if he wasn't, one of them, then he would have had to break. It doesn't disprove what she said, is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Ah.
Yeah. Before Angie locked herself up in her research lab, she said she wasn't going to open up for anyone but student council members.
So he broke in.
And Kyo is not a member. She wouldn't have opened the door for him.
So he broke in.
Kyo couldn't have killed Angie even if he wanted to.
I had no desire to kill her in the first place.
So whoever killed Angie must have been one of the student council members, yeah?
I was doing a bit to lead you to the right answer. Can't believe you actually got it.
Oh, how clever.
You can just ignore her, Gonta.
The remaining student council members are Gonta, Kibo, Tsumugi, and Himiko.
Well, it can't be Himiko. She was besties with Angie. I trust their friendship. You guys do too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Can we trust their friendship so readily?
Obviously. Let's believe in them.
That trims our list of suspects down to 3. Gonta, Tsumugi, and Kibo.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything.
The culprit is one of those 3 people.
Sure, whatever.
You mean one of those 2 people? Because a robot ain't people, Jack.
I will let that remark slide. Anyway, aren't these accusations just a tad too hasty?
What else? The culprit should confess already. Gonta, Keyboy, or Tsumugi?
No, not Gonta. Gonta would never kill Angie.
Yeah, Gonta's a gentleman. You shouldn't suspect either of us.
Hey, stick up for me too.
Gonta definitely not hurt anyone. Torture Gonta if you don't believe.
Torture might be a bit too far, but Gonta and I aren't the culprits.
And I'm not the culprit either. Jeez. I'm
Gonta
not the
We're
culprit.
not the culprit.
All right, let's see which one of you are going to say something wrong. Mass panic debate starts. Too many mini games in this game. Backdoor, lockpicking, Necronomicon, some music
Must
counts.
consider other possibilities. Surely there must be suspects inside the student council.
Student council.
That's utterly impossible.
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone can open
culprit.
it.
Book friends.
Why?
Only student council members had
Late
access.
at night.
Late at night, members.
I didn't know robots told such boring lies.
But it's definitely not
Is
me.
that a robophobic remark?
I have it where it automatically breaks the loud people.
Only student council members.
There we go. Nah, bruh, you can lockpick it. V counter, sucker.
No, it wasn't just student council members that could have opened that lab door.
What was it you said earlier about Kyo opening the door, Shuichi? Unless you're a student council member, you can't enter Angie's lab, right?
No. I mean, I hate when they end their sentence in right. It's like, no, because there's other options, you douchebag. Shut up.
I was referring to Kyo. He couldn't have done it, but you could have. Because I saw you open the classroom lock by picking it.
That happened? I totally forgot.
So you're going to pretend you don't remember, huh?
Quit glaring at me like that. Of course I remember.
You know, I wonder if he's actually a really good guy. He's like the ultimate supreme leader. It's like he's playing the bad guy to like bring us all together.
Yeah, I did it.
Oh,
I killed Angie.
got it. But no one wants to believe him.
What did you just say?
I picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie. The culprit was me, all along.
What?
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins. And it helped. I feel so much better. Whew!
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
No, he's lying. I think.
But nobody knows.
Maybe?
Well, now we just have to listen to his,
I'm certain of it.
No, definitely not a lie.
none.
I killed Angie. Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
Then let me ask you, culprit, how did you lock the room?
Huh? Well, it's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room.
Oh, okay.
They used a different method.
What different method?
They just turned the lock from the inside and closed the door?
Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
Ooh.
There were 2 doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was.
The back door. Because I looked for gold on the front door and there wasn't any there.
That's it! The back door. That's how they made this a locked room mystery.
That's a stretch though, man. That's a really big stretch. I mean, it had gold it had gold on the lock from where they had the sword on their hand. But that doesn't really mean a whole lot because they could have just, you know, they could have opened the door and then locked it as they entered, killed her, and walked back out and closed the door. Now, well then, or just like, you know, wipe their hands off, or put gloves on, or use their shirt. There's too many things. They could have like locked that back door and been like, oh crap, there's gold on my hand. I should probably not spread gold everywhere, but whatever. Sure, let's go, Shuichi, Ultimate Detective, let's do it.
The back door had a sliding lock, yes? How was it locked from the outside?
The culprit used a certain tool.
Tool that could be used to like sliding lock from the outside was...
I see it!
They used the katana.
The gold leaf katana that was stabbed into Kaede's effigy. The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
So the gold leaf was on the sliding lock because...
It wasn't on their hand.
Because when the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it.
Well, I appreciate you trying to step into the role of Ultimate Detective, but come on, who's gonna believe that?
The gold leaf on that katana did peel rather easily.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell.
Yeah, it brings back memories, doesn't it?
Huh? Are you talking about a different school? What school was it?
Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
And throwbacks, though, from the first murder.
Landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it. So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock, right? But wait, how did they move it with a katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
There's no way they used the wax doll to spin and lock it after they left. I guess they would just spin it and run and shut the door and it would hit it. All right, let's see how that plays out then.
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself. It was an odd setup after all.
See, she's closest to the door back there, and it's stuck in her chest, and it's about the same height as the lock.
The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigy's hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
If it was not part of the ritual, then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
Culprit somehow set up the room in case we need to know the reason this every step is set up. You do that way. The culprit locked the room should be the culprit locked the room should be clear. Psychic taxi. All right, let's. This is supposed to be an exciting game, but it's probably the most boring mini game they've come up with so far. Unless they got I don't know. The first one was pretty boring, but maybe they got some extra stuff in there now. But it asks you the same question again by picking up these things, and then you have to like pick the answer at the end. It should just be like an obstacle course, and at the end you pick the answer. Get in here, girl. Good. It already gave us that answer. What was done to make the katana turn the lock? Katana was stabbed in the effigy. Sliding lock was tampered with. Stabbed in the effigy? Yeah, I mean, we know that it was stabbed in the effigy. We saw that too. That's nothing new. How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? That's what we're here to answer. That's what we want to know. Swing it back and forth, spinning it. Yeah, girl, hop on in here. The katana's hilt, and it was stabbed in the effigy. We already knew that from looking at the crime scene and what he just said. And then, bam. Got it. Got it.
That's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Effigy spun?
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist. Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way.
You're just lucky that the katana getting knocked out.
And of course, the katana would spin with it.
I see. So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place? The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope, and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock.
and thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
That is such a stretch. It is a huge stretch. Because for it to be able to hit just the lock and push it in, it would have been hitting the wall.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked. By using the effigy with the katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us. Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it.
Yeah, I guess it was like really, really simple to move. Supposedly, like if it was that simple that it just took a little hit, you could probably like shook the thing open. But anyway,
as long as the spinning katana hit the lock, it would have slid into position.
I'm skeptical of this so far, but you know, maybe they had to try a couple of times. Maybe they had to like close the door, spin it, go back out, and move the katana a little bit, close the door, let it spin again. The time of the murder was 2 a.m., so they had all morning to get it figured out, I'm sure.
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
Yeah.
Which is why the
Thanks,
culprit
game.
chose to strike at nighttime as to avoid detection.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
All right.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
I'm just still surprised there's no gold like markings on the door or scratches where they missed or something. But anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Well, I'll take that explanation that they had to try a whole bunch to get it to work.
I didn't say that.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other effigies were only hung up so we'd think it was some kind of ceremony. That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
But Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility. But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
Cough it up, Kokichi!
Oh, man. You guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I wanted to lure the culprit out. If I claimed to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious. Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
Good job, Shuichi.
You and your fucking lies! Go sit in the corner and play with yourself!
Okay, I'll start right now.
Alright, so who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
Mew, I can't hold it up anymore.
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
Jesus.
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter since anyone could have done it. Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Oh!
Cum dumpster! Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
Oh my god.
What should we talk about now?
Finally, her dream. Yeah, I'm glad Kokichi is here because he moves things along for me. Like, it's cool that we figured out how it happened, but it doesn't lead us to who did it at all.
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. It's just a waste of time.
A suspect?
Yeah, I mean, you're one of my prime suspects, sadly to say. It's almost like her alibi is that she was such good friends with him. I mean, she's the one that wanted to go to the middle room. she pushed the huge cage off of her pretty easily, it seemed like. She also spoke up during the thing as to like what's going on, like she was finished doing what she needed to do. I got it. All right, maybe Tenko did it. Tenko did it because she was jealous, right? And about like who else could have tied up them ropes up there? And then Himiko, she had sneaky suspicion, so she got revenge on her friend and killed Tenko.
Never kill Angie.
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next?
She would never kill Angie, but what about the other one? You didn't mention the other girl who's dead.
I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
Suspect rangers.
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
We might catch them with their pants down.
Oh, she's so happy about that. Look at her, she's so proud.
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers, what should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
Oh yeah, you almost forgot about Tenko. Wait, are you falling for the trap? The first one to speak up and plead their innocence is guilty?
Huh?
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie's?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What do you mean?
The two victims could have been killed by two separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim. We gotta figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless. Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless! Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko.
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give two shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
We're on the same wavelength always, I'm telling you. Like, this guy's me in game.
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. Too late.
Yeah, seriously. It's way too late to realize that now. Our only option is to face her death head on.
Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through, so I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth. I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito. All right. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless. The name of the curse is Death Curse.
Death Curse.
Suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Listen up. All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run.
Tenko was our friend. Gonta wanna know why she died too.
Everybody's got to get pumped up so we can continue this investigation.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
It's rinse and repeat every trial, every game. We got to like talk about it, get pumped up, continue the story, talk about it, make a bunch of meaningless jokes, get pumped up, continue the story over and over and over
Even
again.
if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed
Like
him,
all
we
the
won't
class
be able to
trials, it's
work
like
together.
waves. It's
Not
like,
now, not ever.
like, oh, we're getting it figured out. Oh, we're dragged down by something stupid. Let's get pumped back up. Oh yeah, we're getting stuff figured out. We'll get dragged down by some side stuff again. Let's get pumped up. Just, it's never ending. But that's okay. It's the way all the games are.
Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive,
It's just stuff like this that like makes these trials so long.
we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death.
We need to do the obvious.
Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on.
We have to live. And then after the trial's over, we'll never let the killing game happen again. And then someone else dies. We have to do it to live. And after they figure the trial out, we'll never let it happen again. It's almost sad. Oh man, anyway.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional?
So what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tencrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Tencrotch!
People who attended the seance. Jesus Christ. I mean, Kibo was there for a little bit,
That's it!
but he left.
It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
So those four are the culprits!
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the four is really Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Throw it out there. Throw that shade. The more shade, the better, so we can get it figured out faster. Because she's like, the middle room is the best. It's always the best for stuff like this. Yep.
Oh.
She picked the room.
Right.
We should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
Point of entry from outside. He must be referring to... there was like a hole back here somewhere, wasn't there?
There!
Yeah. It doesn't really give you any indication that you're pointing at anything.
Under the floor, right?
Huh? Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person can move through.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
Kibo.
It's appearing before me.
Oh, he's about to do his angelic pose.
Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer.
Don't get too excited, guy. All right, what we got to use here? The caged child, loose floorboard, Kibo's flashlight
The
function.
culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Oh wait, how do I agree? There, it was that! It was just the wrong, god dang, man!
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Geez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I feel bad. I feel so
I
bad.
neither want nor need your pity.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Yep.
Then why was Floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Going to think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from underfloor.
Nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Shut up, guys.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that.
Another flashback.
That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could stab her through the floorboards.
This is a throwback to the second game.
Boy, that sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
The corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right? If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit!
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however. Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
When? So not during seance?
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she? How could someone have gotten to her there?
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage.
That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
In the return, Tenko, at this point you mustn't speak. Next you open your mouth, there'll be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over.
Yes, she was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
She was dead AF.
The floorboard was removed at that point, so it's likely she was already dead then.
Let's explain the
She
draw
was
blood,
killed when the
though.
room was dark?
But she was inside cage, right? Going to think it impossible to kill her then.
Then she wasn't killed when the room was dark. It was a different time.
A different time?
How the fuck should I know? You figure it out, shitheads.
Huh?
Since Gonta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory. Now hurry up and think! If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains!
All right, let's see. What do we got here? So we can figure this one out. They've been so obscure this time.
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Like that.
When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
So fast.
Oh my!
Oh my.
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Mm-mm.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit.
There's no
That rainbow, though. Tenko not being killed during the seance, that might not be impossible. There's no evidence for it. There we go.
That's wrong!
White sheet. I knew it. White sheets are always bad unless they're in your bed.
No, it wasn't possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it. That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted. If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
What? But how could my golden brain be wrong when it felt so right?
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remodel right here!
All right, here we go. Oh, God.
No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
Whatever, it's the obvious thing that happened.
What?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out!
Golden brain, rebuttal shut down. Dun dun dun. Floorboard iron cage, sickle under the floor.
Tenko died after the seance. It happened when the sheet was lifted. That was the moment the culprit chose to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage. They stuck the thin blade through the gap, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red.
But the weapon was a sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
The blade's all you need.
Marker stone, maybe?
If you stick the blade
I guess
through a
so.
gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
There we go.
I'll cut through your words.
We cut through those words, girl, because she was marked. She had a spot she was sitting.
Wait just a minute. Tenko wasn't sitting down inside the cage.
She was a turtle.
She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone, and the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
Then I messed up again? How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
No worries, Mew. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
Ha!
Yeah, no worries.
No worries.
How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
That's right.
She couldn't have been killed during the seance since she was in the cage, right?
If she was killed then, the cloth over the cage would have been pierced.
Not during
That was the first thing I checked. I was like,
Open below the
are there any holes in this cloth?
Then it's
Yeah, for a living person.
Huh?
What if Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
And now the derailment.
What are you talking about? That's not possible.
I'm telling you, it's like clockwork. Rinse and repeat over and over again. We get somewhere, derailed. But don't worry, we have to live and we have to keep going.
We don't know that. Some things are impossible for a human, but not for a spirit.
Don't say stupid stuff like that. Screw spirits.
Stop that now.
Angie's spirit killed Tenko? Why?
Himiko?
Why would Angie's spirit kill Tenko?
What if Tenko killed Angie, and then Angie's spirit came back for revenge?
That's right, Kokichi.
Like I said, that's impossible. Spirits can't be culprits.
Then explain how the culprit killed Tenko under these impossible circumstances.
Well,
See? You can't explain, can you? Only a spirit could have done it!
Wait, I know. What if the culprit was hiding inside the cage? If they were in there, they could have stabbed Tenko during the seance.
No. If there was someone else in the cage, we would have
I agree
noticed.
with Kaito. The culprit could have been inside the cage.
Oh my god. Is this the... Okay.
Nonsense. There was no space in the cage for the culprit to hide.
Maybe the culprit wouldn't need to hide in the first place.
What?
Also, the culprit could have killed her in the cage at any time. I think you know what I'm getting at, right?
She did it herself?
I believe Maki is referring to Tenko herself.
What did you say? Are you saying Tenko is the culprit?
She committed suicide.
Suicide?
It makes sense, but...
If she committed suicide, it would explain a lot of things we couldn't figure out.
It does. Let's see.
She volunteered to be in the cage, and then stabbed herself during the seance.
But how'd she get the
It
weapon?
didn't matter how dark the room was.
You could hide under your clothes,
The
though.
sickle she was stabbed with was under the floor, right?
She did say you could hide the weapon under your clothes.
If
This is what
Tenko
Maki
had
said.
stabbed herself, wouldn't the sickle still be inside the cage?
And she lifted it up to throw it under there, and that was the loud noise we heard?
Oh my god. Mew actually said something smart.
Perhaps that explains why the floorboard was removed. After stabbing herself with the sickle, she threw it underneath the floor.
Hey, they're saying everything that I'm saying. Now I'm second guessing myself.
Yes, that makes sense to Gonta.
But why?
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for Tenko to commit suicide.
And the derailment. Here we go.
Maybe I wasn't too far off with the theory I had earlier. You know, about Tenko killing Angie.
Yeah?
Because Tenko and Angie were fighting for your attention, right? Tenko's pent-up frustration led her to commit such an atrocity.
We don't, this is just speculation. We need to go over the actual proof.
Her conscience couldn't handle it anymore, so she decided to end her own life.
What?
But if she was gonna kill herself, why do it during the seance?
She wanted to hide the truth of her suicide.
Really? Why?
There could only be one reason to hide it in a killing game, right? It's to take us down with her.
No, I don't agree with that. That's definitely wrong.
Take us down?
She wanted us to pick the wrong answer during the class trial, so she could bring us all down. She wanted us to die with her.
I doubt that. If she was the Blackened and she's seen the way that other people have died in this game so far and she didn't actually want to escape for herself, then it's probably the easier way out instead of suffering the way that Monokuma makes you suffer.
Okay, well, she probably just wanted Himiko to die with her, but still.
No.
But what are you saying?
This is interesting and all, but it's still like a major derailment. It doesn't prove anything.
Told me.
Survive with me and everyone else.
What if all of that was just a lie?
A lie?
Wait, we should believe Tenko's last word.
The true terror of class trials is that you shouldn't believe everything said.
Himiko, you said that Tenko would never do anything like that. But how can you be so sure? Did you guys actually know each other? People keep all sorts of secrets. Like Maki. She hid the fact that she's a cold-blooded killer.
Remember that wave we're talking about? I'm waiting for the we must survive and get along and all that. Let's see if it happens.
Is it wise of us to trust other people wholeheartedly in this kind of situation?
Jeez, you're such a naive dude.
Here it comes.
Naive?
We're all just people, you know? Of course we're gonna have some secrets. What matters is whether there's any malice behind them.
People can lie about how malicious their hidden secrets really are.
Well, duh. It's impossible to know for sure what others are thinking. That's why it all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself. If you get betrayed, it's not their fault. It's your fault for believing in them. That's why I believed in Maki Roll, because I wanted to believe in her.
Just because you're acting all cool doesn't mean you get to skip training.
We gotta believe! Believe it! We can solve this mystery! Guys, let's work together!
Well, we come
Jesus
from different
Christ.
backgrounds. So for now, let's agree to disagree. No one's ever called me naive before. And from Kaito? Seriously?
Whether or not I believe, my heart can't reach Tenko anymore. But I want to believe in her. She wouldn't commit suicide. She wouldn't try to take us down. That's what I want to believe.
And we're back to the top again. Okay, maybe now we'll play a mini game and move forward a little bit.
Me too. Gonta no can believe Tenko commits suicide.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, that would answer all of our questions.
If you insist we believe in Tenko, then provide a reason to do so.
Proper reason.
All right, I'll give you a reason.
Is there a reason?
Yes, there is. Will you trust me, Maki? If it turns out I'm wrong, you can blame me all you like.
Okay, thank you.
But for now, I need you to trust in my detective work.
Such useless words. I guess he's trying to be a better character. You have to trust in me. You have to believe. Just tell me what you're thinking, and I'll decide if I want to believe it in you after that. I don't believe Tenko would kill herself because of what she said. All right, let's see. Okay, everyone, see you guys after the seance. Said, see you guys after. I doubt she had a sudden change of heart because we don't know how she was killed. It doesn't mean that it was suicide. We shouldn't be satisfied with that, and if we keep thinking, we'll find the truth. And that means we have to believe in Tenko. I'll make them all believe. Believe it! Cage shot Tenko's last moments holding
So
the
far,
corner.
suicide seems to be the best explanation.
It is
Her
easiest.
plan was to take us down with her,
No.
so she hid her true intention.
What's the Monokuma File 3 say?
Who's not that kind of person?
Am I supposed to lie? Is that why he's like,
Tenko did
trust me?
commit suicide. It would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
There we go.
I'll reveal the truth.
Gotta hit him with a lie. Hit him with a lie.
Tenko couldn't have thrown the sickle under the floor because she died instantly.
But didn't it say in the Monokuma File that we all have? Ah, all right.
Instantly.
Yeah. She did not die instantly at all.
I'm certain of it. My investigation determined that she died instantly.
What's your opinion, Maki? I'd like to hear from someone who specializes in murder.
Am I the only person that reads the Monokuma Files?
Maki.
This is too obvious of a lie.
You're right. I completely forgot about that important detail. Tenko died instantly.
What?
As an assassin, I specialize in killing my targets swiftly. I have no doubt that Tenko was killed immediately.
Words of a true killer. Pretty sure we can believe everything she said.
Thank you, Maki. But why?
How could you forget that, Maki roll? You better apologize to Shuichi.
Are we having a derailment right now already?
Excuse me?
It's okay, Kaito, really.
Okay.
No apology necessary. Anyway, Tenko died so suddenly that she couldn't have gotten rid of the sickle. Knowing that, the theory that she killed herself just doesn't fit, correct?
Just like I thought. Tenko wouldn't commit suicide.
Thank goodness, Himiko.
Which means someone definitely killed Tenko during the seance.
Her suicide was considered because we could not determine how she was killed.
No, there must have been a way. We're gonna figure it out.
Did any of the participants witness anything peculiar during the seance? If you know something, please speak up. It could be the key to solving this mystery.
Not a bad idea. We should remember what happened at the seance. Try to remember. I'm sure there's something. Any kind of clue to help us solve the mystery. There's a loud noise. Dun, 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 dun,
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed.
That's all he cares
The ritual
about.
was perfect, and yet it failed. How utterly strange.
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall.
Boom! Yeah, agree. I didn't get a V out of that. I consent.
Himiko, you think that something fell because of that sound you heard, right?
It sounded like something heavy fell down and hit the floor really hard.
That's probably the cage. That doesn't make any sense. All right, let's keep going. See what they say.
Could have fallen down.
Fallen down? There wasn't anything on the ceiling that could have fallen down, right?
Am I wrong? I thought something fell, but
Well, the heaviest thing was the dog. Was the dog pointing a different direction?
The sound was pretty loud. It did seem like something hit the floorboards.
Something hit the floorboards. Maybe this sounds something to do with what happened in the dark. I don't know. I have no idea what they want me to say here. That's the whole problem of this thing. We don't know.
This is it!
I mean, that's the obvious one. Is that what we're going with?
I think the floorboard coming off had something to do with that sound. That floorboard came loose at some point during the seance, right?
Would the floorboard have made such a loud sound though?
What if, okay, maybe someone did kill her, right? What if because of the way the wood's sitting there, it teetered down, it like came down, and they could like popped out, stabbed her, and then like they had to push it back up. What if that happened?
It was the sound of an intense impact.
If the impact was that intense, then it could have loosened the floorboard.
It's true. Would have had been strong impact to make that sound. Well, see, that, like the way they're explaining it, the floorboard seems like the least likely that it would have been.
All right, then, let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now. So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hide under floor. Then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it is dangerous. God, it's like I'm the only one here who's staying on the ball.
You hardly have any experience with balls to say that, Mew.
Don't be stupid. Don't you know me and balls are the best of friends?
All right.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
I agree. Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
But floorboards fit perfect. Going to make sure first time we go to empty room.
When we first saw the room, yes. But when I looked again during the investigation, one of the cross pieces supporting the floorboards was cut off. After examining the cut, I concluded that it must have been done deliberately.
We talked about this when we was investigating that someone could have stepped on it, but then I was like, who's heavy enough to move this cage? A combined total of like over 200 pounds. But it's leveraged. Maybe they used the dog statue to do it.
Someone? You mean the culprit, right? Why'd they do that?
What did the culprit stand to gain by cutting the cross piece?
That's the question. So all this case, you get cross piece on the floor. Floorboard, cut, yeah. Supporting part was outside the cage, so it could have been stomped on. Are they going to say that they stepped on it to lift her up close enough to the edge of the cage so they could lift up the sheet and stab her through it, and then throw the blade off to the side? Okay, yeah. Why didn't we get this diagram earlier, huh? Why is this just now showing up? Center right of the cage. Come on, think. What am I thinking of? Hangman's Gambit starts. Oh man. What's the question here? What happened when the loose floorboard was stepped on?
I see now.
Seesaw effect. Is that
That's right. The floorboard might have been used as a seesaw.
Huh? A seesaw?
The crosspiece at one end of the floorboard had been cut off. The other two cross pieces holding up that board were close to the cage. Meaning, if you were to apply force to the end of the floorboard with no crosspiece, the next crosspiece would act as a fulcrum to turn the floorboard into a lever.
Shh. I don't think she's close enough to get stabbed still.
A lever capable of lifting up Tenko's entire body.
Her whole body lifted up?
And they did that in the dark.
Yeah, that sounds like a seesaw, all right. But why bother lifting Tenko's body?
They couldn't have killed Tenko like that. Unless they used the sickle.
That's exactly it. Using the seesaw trick, it was possible to kill Tenko with a sickle.
Huh? How?
In order for the culprit to kill Tenko with a seesaw trick, the placement of the sickle is the most important factor.
Floorboard, seesaw, the cage, and the blood, the white fabric. Concludes what I can draw from this. That's why it's so close to the top then, I guess. One piece of sickle could have been consistent with the evidence. Underneath the floorboard, top of the cage.
That's it! The sickle was at the top of the iron cage, with the blade facing down. The reason we didn't see it was because of the fabric covering the cage. Also, the wooden statue kept the blade in place.
And we didn't notice that the statue was askew or anything. We even considered that, but it was I dismissed it because it was too dumb.
It's true that the sickle's handle was thick, which made the statue wobble, but the statue's weight kept it from falling over.
Right.
Once everything was in place, if you stepped hard enough on the seesaw, Tenko's body would have shot upward and hit the blade on the top of the cage. She was bent over, meaning the sickle's blade would have connected with her neck.
The 6-inch sickle blade wasn't long enough to stab Tenko in her crouch position. But with the floorboard acting as a seesaw, it could compensate for the blade's length.
Bringing the victim to the sickle rather than bringing the sickle to the victim. That's definitely an unorthodox idea.
It's crazy, but it would explain how Tenko got stabbed while she was in the cage.
So the sound we heard was the culprit stomping on the floorboard.
That impact make Floorboard come loose.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned seesaw homicide. Wait, what the hell's a seesaw homicide? That's fucking crazy!
The craziness is what really makes the killing game fun, you know?
I mean, it's okay to have some crazy ones in there, but not every single one of them has to be so insane that it wouldn't work, actually. You know, it wouldn't even really work, but whatever. Let's keep going. It's
Can't
fine.
get away with murder the normal way, so they gotta think outside the box. Kudos, culprit! You did a great job keeping me entertained.
Indeed. Well played, Himiko.
Yeah?
No. Well, now you're just making yourself look suspicious playing the blame game.
It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide.
Why her?
There's only one person that has everything memorized,
Because she's the only one capable of carrying out this plan.
and you're the one that put the sheet down, so...
The only one? Why's that?
Because this seesaw homicide required its location to be prepared beforehand.
By cutting the crosspiece beneath the floorboard, you mean?
Then the culprit would need to lure their victim into the prepared room.
I think the reason why it wouldn't let us go into the other rooms is because they were all prepared the same way. That's what I think. I think all 3 rooms, because they're all exactly the same, they all had the same floorboards, I think they were all made for this seesaw bullcrap.
That is why you chose that room for the seance. Is it not, Himiko?
You about to die. You about to die. See, whenever they don't when they like go out of their way to not let you see something, it's like, it's a huge clue. And I mean, I was keeping it in the back of my head. It's like, why won't they let us go in this other room? I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep going. The middle room is the best.
Oh yeah! Himiko was the one who chose the site for the seance!
Because, Kokichi went into the other room and the same thing happened to him. He got hit in the face because the floorboard fell through when he was walking.
She likely found out about my plans for the seance somehow.
You were quite vocal about the seance, Kiyo. You even had instructions for it in your lab.
Our culprit, Himiko, prepared her seesaw trap ahead of time. Then she waited for me to host the seance, and so she led us all into holding the seance right where she wanted it. Then, she killed Tenko, all according to plan.
I don't know if she's heavy enough. I mean, jumping down on it, maybe, but to actually make it stab through her neck, I doubt that she's heavy enough to make it happen.
That's a lie, right? Himiko did such a thing?
The red herring, every murder case has it, but I guess it fits because you're trying to blame other people. It's never who they say.
In the end, Himiko, who Tenko cherished and loved, tragically killed her.
Wait! We don't know that, right? He's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko, right?
Kill Tenko? killed Tenko?
Himiko? What's wrong, Himiko?
It is true that using the middle of the room was Hiko's idea. But does that mean that Himiko really killed Tenko? Something like that really happened? Something so cruel. How did she set the blade up? Yeah, intermission, whatever, we'll keep going. Because for her to set the blade up, she would have had to push the dog statue to the side, set the blade up under there in the dark. Yeah, that's just stupid to even consider it, sir.
Well now.
Looks like we've reached the intermission segment, which means it's time for our Guess the Victim quiz. The victim quiz? Not a culprit quiz? The only victims are the people who are still watching this drawn out, boring crap. It's very drawn out. Why are you being such a downer all of a sudden?
It's okay.
I am sure everyone is happy. How do you know? They could be skipping this entire conversation for all you know. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. The real victim here is me. Why are you getting upset? If anything, I'm the real victim. I got put up with all this. I gotta put up with this nonsense all the time.
Absolutely right.
That's the right answer, Monodam. Why he hasn't said anything?
Hey,
Exactly, cause there's no victims. Yep, even if you're killed in this killing game, you're a winner. Cause then everyone mourns you and you get tons of posthumous popularity.
Daddy!
I don't need to reveal these kind of behind the scenes details.
all right.
Dying makes you more popular. Then we gotta die soon too. ... Jesus, foreshadow much. Resumed. This is my impression of a spooky, scary. Oh.
Impression of a spooky, scary ghost.
Ah! I'm fine with real ghosts, but impressions of them are too scary!
Logic does not compute.
Huh? Did you hear something?
No, I didn't hear anything.
They're turning against him.
What else is scary? Sweet buns. Yep, tasty, tasty sweet buns. So round, so sweet, so delicious.
That doesn't
Spooky.
sound scary at all!
So spooky.
I'm scared too. Scared of losing my friends.
Huh? Did you hear something?
No, I didn't hear anything.
What was that song? What were the words? He is the most powerful thing that remains of something. Well, hell, I should have listened to these lyrics. Huh.
Answer us, Himiko.
Right.
You chose the middle room to lure us into
No,
your...
it's just
then
a waste of
used
time.
that trap to kill
No. Unless she says yes.
Well, Donkey Lips, did you kill that twat?
Wait, must be some mistake. No way Himiko is culprit.
Then she needs to defend herself. Otherwise, this debate is deadlocked.
I don't care if you gotta use magic to do it, but say something already.
Are you even listening?
No, I'm not listening. I don't care anymore. I'm too tired. Angie died. Tenko died. Why did I have to survive? And now, you're all saying I killed them? I just don't care anymore.
Himiko.
Do whatever. If you want to vote for me, then just go ahead.
The game gets really blah if the suspect isn't into it.
That's not the problem.
Damn it. Don't tell me you've given up.
Here we go. Gotta believe.
Himiko, don't give up.
Don't you understand? My life is riding on the outcome of this trial!
Just shut up. I told you, I'm too tired. It's all just a big pain. I can't put up with it anymore.
What are you talking about? If you give up here...
You needn't worry. Himiko was the one who chose that room. Therefore, she is unmistakably the culprit.
Impossible! Himiko would never kill Tenko! Himiko not that kind of person. Gonta can tell by Himiko's face.
Himiko's a little slow, so I don't think she's capable of handling a complicated crime.
I also think Himiko's not the culprit. Somehow.
Either way, we gotta look for more possibilities.
That does seem like rather a pointless quest.
Korekiyo, come on. You're getting a little desperate here.
No, it's not. We gotta be strong. Gotta keep thinking. Then we might find new truth. So no give up, Himiko!
Himiko, how you feel? I feel the same way after Kaede died. But we can't give up. Here we go. We have to survive! Can't give up for everyone who died!
Performing the seance in that room was Himiko's decision, was it not?
What if someone steered her into picking that room?
Of the 3 empty rooms, why did you select the middle one, Himiko? Because you laid your trap there.
Was Trap only in that room? Other rooms may be trapped too.
Thanks, Gonta. You finally said
I
it.
agree. It's just like Gonta said. Each room was the same. They were all trapped.
What?
Yep.
Is that true?
That's why we didn't get to look at him.
Kokichi will tell you.
I was way too careless. Wait, what are you talking about?
I guess there's no crosspiece supporting this floorboard, so I kind of stepped through. What bad luck. Gonta, no.
While you were in the room next to the crime scene, you found a loose floorboard, right?
Well, I didn't find it so much as I stepped through it and tripped.
What? Hold on! There was also a loose floorboard in the next room?
So the culprit prepared a trap in all 3 empty rooms, not just the middle one.
If the culprit set traps in all the rooms, then they wouldn't need to select a room themselves.
So the real trap was for someone else to pick a room and take the blame.
Ooh. Who?
I see. We were caught in the culprit's trap all along.
It's been too obvious that it was you. You're like the super freaking obvious one. Oh well, let's keep going.
Especially you!
But now there's no reason to suspect Himiko, right?
That doesn't get her off the hook at all.
Himiko, do you remember what Tenko told you?
Keep your chimp and live life facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else. Meow. I'll miss doing your meows. Please, meow.
Live life facing forward. She said that to you, right? If you give up on living, you'd be betraying her memory.
Here we go, just the waves. This one is like, this is like a huge wave in itself. It's like, let's be super distracting and talk about not giving up.
We're all trying to keep our promises to the dead.
Uh-huh.
This trial, it's not just for our lives. It's for everyone who's died as well.
Uh-huh.
That's why we can't give up. This is our responsibility. We live on.
Uh-huh.
You're right. Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
If I gave up here, I wouldn't be able to face Angie or Tenko.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. So let's do our best.
Okay.
All right. I'm not gonna say it's a pain anymore.
Thank you.
I won't give up. I'll fight alongside everyone and survive.
Do not say everyone. After all, the Blackened is still among us.
Jeez, there you go. Killing the mood like usual. But damn, well said, Shuichi. That's what I'd expect from my soul, bro.
Your soul, bro?
Well, anyway, do you think the Blackened this time has some sort of superpower?
What?
What are you talking about?
Jesus, what now?
Well, as a self-proclaimed expert of stepping through floorboards, isn't it weird that no one stepped through that floorboard before the culprit used it?
Ah, that is a good point.
Ah, yes, don't steal my salt.
It must have been barrier magic. Well, that's one possibility, but I think it might have been something else.
Why did no one step on the floorboard? Because there was salt all over it.
This is it! It's because of the magic circle at the scene of the crime.
Be sure to watch your step. The circle's broken. Seance fail. Unleash a curse.
Before we began the seance, we were warned not to step on the circle. The floorboard in question was within the circle. That's why...
Yep.
So the magic circle's purpose was to keep us away from the whole trick.
That was part of the culprit's plans too?
That's right. If that's the case, then the culprit is none but mine. The one who killed Tenko. The only person that had the operative and the motive. Well... Duh.
It has to be you!
The thing that bugs me about...
Was it you?
The thing that bugs me about stepping onto the floorboard is that... Okay, like, so you got two floorboards, it goes down, right? It doesn't... It's not gonna, like, jump back out of the hole. It's gonna go down, and she's gonna come back, and she's gonna hit the ground. And if it goes back exactly where it was... then it'll be even. But if the part that comes up where she's sitting goes to the side, then it would still be kind of in the floor. But anyway, it's fine, I guess. No big deal.
Whatever are you talking about?
I'm talking about Tenko's murder.
Yeah, but we already know that Tenko's murder isn't the murder that matters. We gotta figure out Angie's murder.
Kiyo?
Why do you suspect me?
Because
That's
you were
obvious.
the one who drew the magic circle. The circle kept us from discovering the seesaw trick, but that's not all it was for. In order to make the murder succeed, variables like Tenko's position and the placement of the cage needed to be defined. And those variables were defined by using the magic circle. In short, the circle itself was the most important tool in this murder. Knowing that, the person who drew the magic circle has to be the culprit.
Well, Kyo,
Answer already! Did you do it?
What is so funny?
I was just thinking. So this is how each blackened must have felt. What an intriguing experience this is. But if I am the culprit as you claim, then I stomped on the floorboard, yes? So, do tell. How could I have stomped on the floorboard during that darkened seance?
I see. That is problem.
Unless that is made clear, you cannot be certain I am the culprit.
how can you be so calm when you're backed into a corner like this?
I will explain that in due time. Please answer my question first.
The culprit stepped on the exact floorboard, even in the darkness. But how? How did they move around in total darkness? That's a good question. That's what I was asking earlier. Maybe it'll explain a little bit more about how this piece of wood got off to the side when it's being held down. My hand. Wait a minute, maybe.
Did you figure it out?
The culprit didn't even have to see it all. They used, what is it with this? They smelt it? A sixth sense?
That's it!
They touched their way across the floor?
The culprit used touch. They didn't see, they felt.
That way they could get around in the dark, like how I got to the candle.
Wasn't seesaw in middle of room? Gonta doesn't think it was near wall.
So they probably used something besides the wall to move then, right?
Were there any other markers within reach?
Of course, the answer to that is there was nothing of the sort.
Sure, there was something. A landmark we could have used to determine where the floorboard was. It must have been in the scene, I know it. Hangman's Gambit, oh god.
I see now.
So they felt their saltiness?
That's it! Remember? The magic circle was drawn with salt. The culprit used the salt's texture to feel their way through the dark.
I see. So Kiyo traced the magic circle with his hands to get to the loose floorboard.
Oh, I see. You drew the magic circle with salt to use it as a guide.
An interesting thought. It is unfortunate that it is so wrong.
What?
Recall the document. What did the magic circle look like?
Based on the document, the magic circle wouldn't reach the corners of the room.
So what?
When the room was darkened, each of us was in a corner of the room, yes? The magic circle didn't reach us, so I could not have followed it, yes?
But you're talking about the magic circle in the document. That doesn't mean the circle you drew was the same.
No, I most definitely drew it exactly the same. I have it perfectly memorized.
So which is it? Is there any way to check? Not anymore. The magic circle is a complete mess from being trampled on.
Another piece of the puzzle. Triangle circle of salt. Temporary. This game itself would be really evidence. Clever.
Everyone, may I have your attention, please?
Sure.
What a pain.
Does he have a
We don't
recording
have
of it
any way
too?
to check it now.
Excuse me, everyone. May I have your attention, please?
Well, I guess there's no point in discussing the magic circle anymore.
Hey, may I have your attention?
Oh, I said cut that out! It's too bright!
I apologize. I just wanted everyone to listen to me.
About what?
I had Miu add another function to my body, in addition to the flashlight.
What the? No way! Did you really? Stop! You can't! I didn't install it for that purpose!
Please, let me use it. With it, I might be able to save everyone.
Jesus. The derailment once again.
Alright, so what is this function?
It's an image recording
There we
function.
go. Okay, I thought they was gonna start talking about penises again. Image recording.
Specifically, this function allows me to dispense a printout of my own memory. I'll give it a try. Ready?
I was hoping it'd come out like that. Yeah, there was like
Your mouth?
there were like points coming out from the corners because I saw that when I was watching it. I was like, are they not going to like step on these pieces of salt that are going out to each corner? But
Also used magic like that before.
This printout is my memory of being kicked out of the seance. Please confirm that the floor of the empty room is clearly visible. Go on, take the picture and see for yourself.
Okay. Got
yeah. Look at those extra lines going to the corners. Use the circle
Well,
seance.
Shuichi, do you notice anything?
I sure do. Come on, Shuichi, ultimate detective, figure it out.
there!
Like he...
This helped a lot, Kibo. Without you, I never would have seen through Kiyo's lie.
Come on, Kiyo, just give up. It's obvious.
You just said that you drew the magic circle exactly as it appears in the document. But that's a lie, isn't it? The magic circle at the scene had lines that stretched to the room's corners, which means that you would be able to find the floorboard from anywhere in the room.
So it was different from the document after all.
All because Himiko noticed. And because of Kibo, too.
Yeah.
Hey, where's my thanks? I'm the one who installed that function into Kibo.
Hey, yeah, what was it you were saying about its purpose?
Oh, to be honest, the purpose of that image recording function is to monitor my health.
Take some hot pictures of her.
Specifically, I make Kibo use that function every day to analyze my turds.
The turd analysis. Of course. Of course.
Your what? Why? Shit is a great indicator of intestinal health and gut bacteria quality. Plus, taking a satisfying shit does wonders for a woman's natural beauty, so... See? You're all grossed out! This is why I didn't want to tell you about my plan!
Quit talking about your poop. No one cares. Yo, you killed Tenko, didn't you? Just give up and admit it already.
So, Kyo, if you have any objections, you can...
Your deductions are fiction.
Oh, he's still mad about it. Ooh, he's mad.
Well, since you've given me the option, I will most certainly object.
How kind of you.
To be honest, it's unimportant, but it may be an amusing diversion.
Unimportant.
Now I shall bear witness to your
It is
ability,
unimportant. It's not
Shinichi.
important at all. We already
Do
talked about
entertain
this.
me.
Like, the second one doesn't matter. Like, Monokuma said that. We have to figure out who killed the first one. Marker stone, iron cage, white sheet, dog
If you are going to claim I am the culprit, then what of the murder weapon? It was set up in the cage. The only people capable of that are Kokichi and Shuichi, who carried the cage. So suspicion should fall on them.
Nah, bruh.
True, we could have placed the sickle there, but we could not have removed it later. Because we weren't the ones who lifted the cage. That was Himiko.
The only person who could have collected the sickle is Himiko. But the only people who could have placed the sickle are Kokichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I lift it. I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
Look at that
What were
V.
your words? The only person who could have set up the sickle and retrieved it afterward is Kyo.
Did Kyo do both? Because there's still that dried piece of blood underneath where they were sawing. Oh man, I guess he did do both.
That was done by covering the cage with a white cloth. You could have secretly placed the sickle when you draped the cloth. And retrieved it afterward when you removed the cloth.
Maybe.
Then, while everyone was distracted, you discreetly dropped the sickle under the floor.
Wonderful! That's exactly correct.
What?
It's correct? Then why don't you give up already?
I think he is.
The trick I put so much work into is just wasted effort now. Alas.
So, it was you? You killed Tenko?
Let me guess.
I guess he did.
You'll never forgive me. Himiko, you must hate me so very much. Maybe you'd feel better if I was executed by Monokuma. But unfortunately for you, that won't happen. Because if you vote for me, every spotless, including myself, will die.
What you talking about, Kyo?
What you talking about, Kyo? What you talking about, Kyo? All right, guys, thank you very much for watching this episode. What you talking about, Kyo? He's about to just tell us all about it, about how him killing Tenko doesn't matter because, you know, we forgot about that. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys next time. Until then, stay those, my friends. Bye.